So with this extreme heat, my garden did take a pounding this summer. One of the things that I actually think killed most of my plants was I was overwatering plants because it was so hot. Now some plants were just withering and dying because it was so hot, but one of the things that ended up actually killing some of my plants was I was overwatering them. So that's a thing out here. But the heat definitely got a lot of my plants. You can see here it is, middle of October. I do still have some green back here. Thankfully, it did survive, but it was definitely looking scorched. So let's go talk about some of these reasons. But you can see, I just wanted to show you some things have changed back here because I had to remove some plants. Here on the U.S. National Weather Service for Phoenix, Arizona, 2020 hottest summer of all time so far. That was posted on August 11th. So by the time August 11th was here, we were already in record-breaking zone. Now what was it? Max temperature on average, 107 degrees in 2020, 107.9. Average temperature, 96 degrees, and minimum temperature, 84 degrees, because it's taken into consideration daytime and nighttime. Sometimes at night, depending on your elevation, in Phoenix, it can get into the 70s or even into the 60s in the summertime. We didn't really see that this summer. It was pretty much hot at night all the way up until about 4 or 5 in the morning. And sometimes if you wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning, it's kind of chilly, but it warms up pretty quickly, especially around 8 o'clock. So I just wanted to show you this. Let me show you guys some more information. But this was August 11th when we were seeing these temperatures. You can see this individual here, Maryland, is saying, okay, I don't care if it's hot. I want to know where the monsoon is. So that's what we'll talk about next. See on Tucson's local news site, kgun9.com, you can see right here, they're reporting that Tucson also experienced what was one of the hottest summers ever recorded on record in southern Arizona. And that was as of August 21st, because remember, here in October, we saw so many days over 100 that we broke the record for the most days over 100 degrees across Phoenix, Arizona. Consecutively. We'd never seen that many days over 100, and we never saw that many days over 110. But here's what KGUN did, and they wrote up an excellent report, which you can see right here. In Tucson, as of August 19th, the hottest July ever recorded, average temperature 91.5, 4.5 degrees above average. Number of days with highs over 100, 79, average is 62 days. So typically we have 62 days over 100 degrees in Tucson, 79 total days. Record high temperatures 6 out of the last 7 days. So they broke records 6 out of the last 7 days in Tucson. This was back in August, and they started with every day reaching 100 degrees. Only a little bit of rain, so the monsoon didn't really show up in Tucson. Tucson does get a lot of rain, but what was causing this, and that's what we're kind of trying to understand and what we're trying to figure out here. But you can see, as this report from KGUN discovers, is that there was a high pressure system that was kind of wobbling back and forth, that wasn't really being consistent like we usually see. So this high pressure system just kind of kept everything really hot. And there was a persistent low pressure system out in the Pacific that we could usually kind of count on to create the moisture that creates the monsoon, which brings the cooler temperatures. So these are a few things that happened. So it blocked the subtropical moisture. So the moisture that usually comes up from the subtropical region that creates the monsoon season, creating drier air. So drier air heats quicker and brings hotter temperatures. Hotter days equal hotter nights. So these hot nights were really hot. I mean, it would be 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, and you'd be outside, and it was hot. And I always thought it was because the ground was just still radiating the heat that it experienced all day. So the lack of moisture also results in the lack of thunderstorms. So you can see these were some of the factors. And I don't know if you guys know this, but we actually get hurricanes down in the Baja, off the Baja of California and Mexico. We didn't really see any of that this year. So Phoenix has actually been experiencing some warming since the 70s. As you can see, it's about 5.5 degrees warmer. And this is coming off of climatecentral.org for Phoenix. Now, Phoenix isn't the only place experiencing this, but some things that may be driving this temperature rise in the Valley of the Sun, Phoenix, is this. So what some have speculated is the growth of the urban concrete jungle. As you can see, it's very developed. Now look at all of this cement and asphalt and pavement and buildings, which was once just dirt, clay, or even natural vegetation that was there, now has been replaced by this concrete jungle. And think about how that sun, when it radiates off of that, reflects up and actually causes a hotter environment. So yes, in a way, this is actually man affecting the environment through developing the concrete jungle. I'm not saying that climate change doesn't happen naturally. I'm just saying that this could possibly be one of the situations causing the heating of the Phoenix Valley area and Tucson. To describe this, we'll look at the National Weather Service of Phoenix Twitter account, where they've created this infograph, and we'll talk about the weather. So as they say, the weather pattern this summer often featured stronger than usual high pressure over or to the south of Phoenix. This stopped very humid air from moving north, as is typical with the monsoon circulation. Less moisture meant less cloud showers to cool the region. So the clouds, obviously, when they come in, they bring moisture and they bring some cooling and shade for areas that are getting a lot of sun beating down on it. So this urban heat island, which we just talked about, as Phoenix has grown in size over the years, the built environment has altered the local climate. So that is, in a way, man-made climate change. True or false? Yes. Okay. So buildings retain more heat from the day and release it slowly at night. The result is slightly warmer afternoons and drastically warmer nights. So the climate change. The Earth's climate is changing due to increasing amounts of anthropogenic greenhouse gases in the atmosphere for the southwest U.S. One way the changes come in several decades of steadily warming temperatures. So again, we're just trying to figure out why we have the hottest summer, and it kind of does keep going back to this idea that the urban heat island, the concrete jungle, is impacting the environment. And it does kind of make sense in a way. I mean, it's hard to kind of deny that concrete and asphalt and these buildings do radiate more heat than the natural clay that would have been in the valley, right? Here on 12 News website, they wrote it up, the local news agency did. Phoenix breaks record for the most 100-degree days in a year. There have now been a whopping 144 days over 100 degrees in Phoenix this year, breaking a 31-year-old record. So we did have a pretty hot time about 31 years ago. That would have put us back in the 80s, right? So the summer season is technically over, but we're not done breaking heat records in Phoenix. Wednesday marked the 144th day over 100 degrees. And then also the heat record for that 110 degree temperature that came up. So Phoenix broke the record for the most 110 degree days in a year on August 9th. So that was pretty dang hot. And Phoenix broke its record for the most 115 degree days in a year 2 months ago on August 14th. So there's just been a lot of heat. So where are we at now? Here it is, fall. It's clearly fall. We're in the middle of October. So what are we seeing? Well, here we are on weather.com, August 20th, or October 20th, you could see. We don't see any more 100-degree days, but we're still just pulling out of the 90s. But look at this. On the 26th, we might just see some showers, which will be very welcomed here. And we've seen some dusty air, some fires in the sky, fire smoke that came over from California, and we really could go for that. It's a 40% chance. So if we get some showers on the 26th, we'll officially be kind of out of the woods with that. But you could see that we're still not done approaching the 90s here into November. So if you guys are just moving here, or if you already live here, share your comments on what you think is causing this extreme heat in Arizona or Phoenix this year. Some people are also saying they've noticed that we're even having colder winters than we usually have. I remember the last 2 years, we've even had some potential snow even down into the lower elevations down in Phoenix Metro. Phoenix and Tucson are not the only places in America experiencing a rise in temperatures. Actually, Alaska is the fastest warming state, which some people are speculating about the polar ice caps melting. And then you see New Mexico's also experiencing it. Arizona, obviously, right here, Delaware, which is on the East Coast, and then Utah. So you also have the fastest warming cities, fastest one being Las Vegas. So you think Phoenix, Arizona is hot, go to Las Vegas. Las Vegas can get really cooking hot, and they've also experienced that concrete jungle kind of deal. You have Tucson and Phoenix right here, also El Paso, and then you have some towns on the East Coast or in the Midwest even. You have Chattanooga, Erie, Pennsylvania, Helena, Montana. Wow, Montana's even on the list. It's going north. So just keep this in mind. Again, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments about what you think is causing this. Maybe something we talked about the urban concrete islands, the concrete jungle, or something outside of that, just maybe even the natural cycle of climate. Remember, the world has always come in and out of ice ages. Remember, we had the ice age, then we had the global warming situation happen after that, and then we went back into a mini ice age, and all of that, you can't really credit that to man-made climate change, right? So you do have these climate patterns that come and go. It's just trying to identify what it is that's causing it, and if it is man-made global warming or global cooling or just climate change in general. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. Thank you.